Hello, everybody. Welcome to our next Autonomous IT Talk. And today we will have a great conversation, I hope, and I believe in it, with Radovan Bacovic, Senior Data Engineer at GitLab. And I will connect him right now. Radovan, hi.
Hello,
Welcome to
folks.
our
Hello, everyone.
stream.
How are you? I hope you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, please let us know if you hear us and see us well in the comments. And if you have any questions to Radovan or to me, just in case, please put it in the comment section and we'll discuss it during the live stream. I have a bunch of questions to Radovan. So our main topic for today will be GitLab DevOps platform and some other topics as we announced. And first of all, Radovan, please, could you tell us a bit more about your background, about your experience to our attendees who didn't have a chance to see your impressive bio during the registration, just in case some people miss it?
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much, Kate, to invite me to this talk. I want to share our story from GitLab and our data team, how we do the things with DevOps, open source, and many other secret sauce and building blocks, of course. My name is
Yeah.
Radovan Bacovic. You pronounce it very well. Thanks for that. I'm coming from GitLab.com company, probably heard or not, but it's, I would say, very well known in technical circles and into community. Our core and philosophy is based on open core and open source and DevOps, because one of our tool or our main product is our DevOps tool. I'm trapped in data world for more than 15, 18 years now. Usually start as typical database stuff. Now through the time, things can be changed and try to grab the new things in the data world. And yeah, still I'm overjoyed and very excited about new things are coming and how this world is changed. Everything should be, or it is data driven, but still I want to support this idea, embracing DevOps and open source. But as you said, Kate, we can start with questions and also maybe to provide for the audience to feel the taste how everything is going with that.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot for such a detailed introduction, because maybe our attendees would have a clear understanding what's the questions they can ask you and what we can discuss also besides the platform, besides DevOps in general, maybe, and open source, because it's on my list of questions as well. And
Yeah, of course.
could you please tell us a bit more what you're working currently right now on, which projects?
Yeah, actually, we are a small team recently formed in the company. As I said, our main core business is creating an end-to-end DevOps tool to support full life cycle of your
Yeah.
development product. But still, we are taking care about the data platform and also do a usage of our product on daily basis. As I said, we are small teams recently created, and our main focus is to at least keep our data platform in a very good shape all the time, 24/7. That's our main core idea and core purpose. And also, second one is to provide the data to the stakeholders on time with 100% accuracy if possible. Of course, life happens, but to be fast, accurate, and decrease time to market. Particularly speaking, I'm working on currently on one very interesting project. Is called automated service ping. It means, okay, we have our product and we have some data inside, and also we want to measure everything, because if you want to manage something, you need to measure that. Between that product and raw data and our business and their needs, we are in between, and we want to provide a very fast, reliable way to calculate everything they need and serve it on demand. And of course, our struggle now is to decrease the time to market and do things as fast as possible. So that's our main focus, very, very briefly, I would say.
Yeah, I can tell that. Actually, I can
And
only imagine how much you're doing with your team, but since we will talk more about platform, DevOps platform at GitLab, I think we can dive right into it. And I see that you actually often deliver talks about it, and we will try to not be like talking the same, like from our talks, but maybe briefly you can describe what is it? What's the DevOps platform at GitLab, and how do you develop it as data service or product inside GitLab?
actually, yeah, that's a good one. If you can show the slides and share the screen, it will
Yeah,
be great, because
sure.
I just want to steal a couple of points from my talk about
Yeah.
our product and our data platform. In nutshell, our GitLab product actually is the same name as a company name, so it's very good and very valuable for you to distinguish company name against the product name. But in nutshell is the same. So our product is DevOps platform delivered as a single application to help you iterate faster, innovate together. In other words, it means we are able to support the entire end-to-end life cycle, all stages in your product development. And also, you can collaborate and do everything together despite of the team size. I will be free to move on and try to move to the next slide. If you're not lazy, you can see all 10 stages what we have in our product with all points, give you the taste what you can find inside. And of course, everything started from open source, open core, and free tier. Even that free tier is so generous. So I want to encourage you to try. Actually, what we have here, if you're so lazy, tired, you can see it, the 10 stages, that's the name, and visual representation or logo or image of the stages. What I think is super important for our product is we want to be, or we pretend to be, one-stop shop for your development lifecycle. People already heard for us like, yeah, okay, that's a nice fancy place where I can store my code and do version tools and collaborate, but no, it's more than that. So from planning, create, and verify stage, like more belongs to the management part of the story, through packaging, securing release, up to configure, monitor, and post-development stuff like governing and manage. You can find everything you need in one product. So I would say that's a great stuff. And what I want to mention is we are using this product to creating our data platform. So it's kind of recursive process for us, use actually what we or our colleagues built and incorporate our change in the data world, and also empower our people and business using the data to create better and better product. That's it in a nutshell, I would say. We can talk about this for days and for the entire strategy and actually what we want to do. But as of now, it's just to give you the test and keep you interested in the talk.
Yeah, and actually, I'm curious, what was the reasons behind developing your data service, this DevOps platform? Why did you decide to build it first place?
You know how it's going last couple of years. There are a lot of hype about around the data. They said, yeah, that is new oil, or it's you can live without that. You should be a data-driven company. But the real serious reason behind everything is we want or pretend to be to have a data-driven culture, to empower and embrace data-driven culture. And it means, okay, if you want to make decisions based on data, we need and we must have data as an infrastructure. Everything should be served on time, with high accuracy, to who is interested in the data. Of course, everything behind that goes with security, governance of the data, GDPR, red data, classification of the data, cataloging the data, and many other things. So in this, how people like to call the modern data world or modern data platform, you should stick with a couple of points you should respect in order to be a data-driven company and follow data-driven culture. So that's the initial motivation for us. And also, as I already mentioned, our product, we have something called dog fooding. It means we are able to use much as possible our product in order to incorporate the change and use maximum all stages in our product to build or create, leveraging, maintain our enterprise data platform. That is how we call our data platform, and serve the data whom it's needs. Through engineering, up to marketing, finance, sales, you name it, everything is covered by data. So we are heart of the business in this case, even we are not a core business. That is my vision, how this should look and how data platform should be in order to be a data-driven company and support data-driven culture. In a nutshell, that's it.
Right. Yeah, actually, thanks a lot, because I was really curious why, because I'm thinking like building this kind of product is really a huge project, which took a lot of efforts, resources, efforts of all, like many people, and it needs to be like really high weighted reasons, like high weighted. And yeah, thanks a lot for this answer.
Thank you.
I need to tell our audience and you too that we at Acure provide better observability, and in this way, people can see more clearly what's going on the whole infrastructure. So they can see the root cause, and they can see less notifications, much more reliable alerts, etc. And I'm interested how GitLab DevOps platform address these issues as well.
Yeah, actually, you represent our main pain points, probably not only for me, but for our technical audience, especially people from tech world. Very good knows about the pain they feel about everything about observability and how to make everything in a good shape and keep monitoring. When it comes to our part of the world and our magic world, When we're talking about observability, I would say it can be separated on a couple of levels because it depends what you want to track. If you're talking about the DevOps tools, our platform, our pipelines and data inside, strictly we want to say, okay, you have as a first point infra observability. Okay, in which shape is our infrastructure, how it's going, how much it cost, is it security vulnerable, is it secure, is it okay, can people use it, can people authorize, authenticate, and things like that. On the other level, you have a platform observability. Okay, we have a platform inside our infra or more clusters, whatever we want. Usually if you're talking about this modern cloud approach, how we should manage that, how we should monitor, how we preventively act on something, how we can measure capacity and everything we need regarding our platform. Inside that, the third level is kind of pipelines. This is especially important for the data world, and it means, okay, we have a pipeline, we want to drag the data in our warehouse, in our data world, how we should do that and what's going on in between. How we can act, how we can prevent any errors, how we correctly fix the errors, and how we can do like reloading the data if it's needed, and do we lose the data. At the end, of course, heart of the story is about the data. So data observability means, okay, what the quality is our data? Can we rely, can we trust this data? Are they coming here in on time? Do we have some illogical data inside? Some values are not correct, or logically we can't connect the data. Without trusted data, we can't move forward quickly. So I would say main point about observability is separated in a couple of levels. Of course, you do an application or mobile development, probably you have your own pain point, and you should stick with your kind of separation of what you want actually to track, to monitor, to prevent, and to keep in very, very good condition.
Yeah, actually, I have some additional question. When you're talking about your platform, it seems like it's really complicated, high structured, really huge solution for companies. And I'm curious how people actually use it. Is it like they use it because of its complex, or they use some like different features of it? Because I can explain my question because we saw in our customers it's like two types of people. So some people use it like because it's like complex, and some people want like a couple of features from the like whole bunch of features. And I'm just curious how it's working with your platform, and if you can share it somehow, it would be great.
I spent a couple of seconds to find a good case study for us. So if you can see the presentation here, our platform, I would say it's complex or complicated. I would say more complex. Why? Because modern data world and modern data approach requires from you to have a good tool for each of your use cases. So there's no one size fits all. Okay, there are many out of the shelves products you can use to do your end-to-end development when it comes to data platforms. But our approach is like, okay, we want to decouple everything in components, and depends of the use case, we want to pick up, let's say, some out of the shelf tools. You can see it here, or create our own custom-made code with Python primarily, which is also cool. Or transform the data using well-known open source tools like dbt, or stick with some well-known ETL framework, Singer in this case, or out of the box pipeline as a service Meltano. And of course, we use some data ops tools, also use cloud or multi-cloud approach, which is popular these days. Rancher, Kubernetes desktop, also Jupyter Sisense for the visualization, and our single source of truth is Snowflake as a MPP database to store the data. Of course, this is complex, but you should manage your chaos. It means you should stick with best practice, do not reinvent the wheel, but also align everything you find on the market for your use case, your needs, your expertise, and your size of the company or the team. And of course, about the ETA, how business expects the data. Do they want accurate data once per month, once per week? Do you want stream data immediately to prevent some fraud or some very, very critical stuff? Also depends. I also already spoke about cataloging the data, make the data important, put the label on data. Is it super important or low importance? Not all data are treated equal or created equal. And as per that, you need the full set of tools from various backgrounds to provide and orchestrate all components in the system. We spoke about this, but also what is a good advantage to, let's say, create a system in layers and in smaller components. It means you can easily replace the components. You're not vendor lock. I will talk about that later when it touch the open source world and DevOps culture, why it's important and how you can change the game with that approach. But on this slide, this is one of my favorite, by the way, is nicely and clearly exposed. Okay, which components we have, can we replace any component and decide to go for other provider or other set of tools or just different approach? So yeah, probably that's one of the answer of your question. Of course, there is no ultimate silver bullet like one size fits all. Depends on your use case, use what is applicable on the market or what you think you can create. Good thing when it comes to GitLab, we are in core also transparent, fully transparent company. We have our handbook, so you can visit our handbook and see all components of our system, not only for data world, but how we manage our business. Everything's transparent and open to the world. You can easily reuse it, copy it, fork it, do whatever you want, and please steal our knowledge. And of course, we are here to collaborate and communicate. If you have any advice for us, also please do so. But all of these things you should find in our handbook. Just type GitLab Data Handbook, and you will see how magic happened there. For more details, of course.
Yeah, actually, like next questions about regarding this topic. Do you provide some kind of support during the implementation, or it just like the people on their own implement the platform and that's it?
No, actually, we are doing in-house solution only for our company. We do not share this or sell it as a product, to be clear. And of course, we want to leverage our data platform for the business to drive and make their decisions based on that. Of course, no one is on their own. We have a, I would say, strict process and also something called enterprise data platform. Also, I think on one of these slides, I exposed the 6 stages we are going and how we are doing the things and actually what we created. It's something called trusted data model. This is the framework for us, how we should respect the process and in which stage we should go, verify, check to be able to move forward and deliver data product and data services. Also, this is exposed in our handbook. Why this is important? Because you have a framework and domain, how you should act and what you should do and which steps you should respect. But on the other side, sometimes you have a freedom and autonomy to pick up actually what you want to deliver and how, what is important for the business. Of course, everything is OKR based, like objective key results based on quarters or year. So we want to support our business. But to get there, we have a clear specified trajectory, and also we have a tool or set of tools and processes how we get there. This is a good example about trusted data model. As I said, for more details, you should refer to our handbook and see each stage, how it's going and what needs to be satisfied and required in order to move to the next stage. But yeah, this is a must there.
Yeah, actually, it's looking very structured and I think really interesting for people who would like to dive deeper. So I think we need to provide the link to this handbook you mentioned a couple times so people can like see it and read it. And
definitely, yes. As I said, the easiest way, even me, we are using that handbook for our daily work. I'm going to Google and search like GitLab Data Handbook, what I need actually in addition. So please do the same, but also,
so this is the best way to get it.
I will feel free to give a link to you and you can share it with the audience. So it will be more strict and official, but yeah, I will do that after the presentation, no worry.
Yeah, great. Okay, as I know, as you mentioned, you lean on open source philosophy during this whole process, during your like the whole work in GitLab, and how do you choose open source if it's like correct like words choice of words? Can you please provide some more information, because I saw that you somewhere mentioned that you use open source because you can provide faster time to market this way. So maybe you can disclose like more information about it.
You're fully correct on all other things, but let's start from the beginning. Our company is based on open core, and from the beginning it provides open source solution. It will be stay forever like that. That is what I know, and that is what I really think. And also it's one of the mission of the company, definitely. On the other side, if you have an open source tool, you're not locked to any vendor. That's the way how you should protect your intellectual property and your knowledge in order to move fast and also to switch when it's needed. You know what future will bring to us, but if you have your own assets and you can move it and port it somewhere, that's a great option. And you're not mandatory or obligatory to go somewhere to use your tools on that or some other platform. On the other side, our main mission for the company on company level is everyone can, and I would say should contribute. It means if you stick with open source, you can easily use whatever is on the market or in the community. You should create for community and take something from community. It's a two-way street. That's one of the reasons why we stick mainly with open source. Of course, it's impossible to avoid some commercial tool, but still, when we look for or evaluate any tool, we are looking, okay, do they have open source option or not? And we will prefer open source option. Also, why if something is wrong, you can easily fix it and fit it for your needs. It can be tailor-made. I saw that, I don't know, beginning of this year, we had a issue with some provider, or the driver wasn't in a good shape. It wasn't maintained, so I forked it and put it on our repo, fix it, deploy it, and now it's nicely running on production. Also, if you're interested in that, I will share the link with you. Also, you can use it if you're using, let's say, Meltano. And for that target, you can use our driver, and I guarantee it will work 100%. Of course, you can fit it for your needs, but yeah, that's a good option how you should collaborate to the community and also communicate with the community in a good way. And also get some feedback from that same community. So yeah, I would say an advocate for open source.
Yeah, and actually it's interesting because I constantly hearing from some companies, from some IT pros, that they don't like, for some reasons, open source because they think that it's not safe or it's not reliable in some kind. And what you can tell these people who still have doubts about open source, because actually it sounds amazing what you said, that it's like you can be independent from vendors, you can like provide tailor-made decisions, taking like some already kind of made decisions. So it sounds really great. And still there are people who like don't like open source, and maybe you can tell something to these people as well.
I can't tell anything. I can persuade them, okay, you should try open source at least, but at the end, not all companies has the same use cases. Sometimes you have a lot of constraints based on regulatory level, based on some other levels, compliance, things like that, policy, or just the nature or mission and vision of the company. They want to treat them differently. Maybe there is no open source solution on the sky, so they need to use a commercial tool, which is also fine, I would say. So let's say it's pros and cons, or we against them. It's more about find a good fit for your use case. Luckily for us, we are able to find a good fit most of the time. But on the other side, I also mentioned sometimes we should go for a commercial solution for various reasons. And also, some companies don't want to forward the data to some other sources, to some other platforms. So they need, okay, we should go for commercial tools X, Y, Z, but we should port it on our data center because of that restriction or whatever. I would say for them, try with open source, especially it's good for smaller businesses. If they want to spend a lot of money or burn the money to some licenses and everything else, they can find good fit on the open source. Of course, some things are staying like, okay, is it secure or not? Do you want to hide it or not? If you put it on open source, there is no many things you should hide. So we're pretty much safe in the open source sky. Also, good thing what I will share with the audience later is our data repo, so they can see our code and say, okay, it's good or not. They can be inspired. Maybe take some ideas, why not, to also contribute. I call all of you to contribute. There are several ways to do that. If you're not from the tech world, you can put a comment, see what can be better and better. Maybe later on down the road, you can use it. But generally speaking, there is not my message to people, but to say, okay, let's try that. Give it a try and nothing else.
Yeah, and if there are cons of open source, how we can overcome it and get the best from open source?
Yeah, of course, there are pros and cons for everything. As I said, there are many use cases simply it can't fit for some reason. But I would say there are 4 reasons I write down here for myself to be reminded. You have a full control of your product or the product you choose. Of course, it's faster time to market and unlock to the vendor most of the time. Of course, sometimes you should go for fully managed service on the cloud by your choice. Why? Because maybe it's cheaper, maybe it's better for you, or maybe you don't have enough expertise to deal with all these components I exposed on that slide previously. So for that reason, I would say faster time to market and still agility during your development lifecycle. You can easily switch. And also what I say is collaboration. You can collaborate with a strong community. Some tools doesn't have strong community. If you find strong community, of course, I will join the Slack message, Slack channel, and also try to collaborate and ask some questions. And these days, it's super, super nice because feedback is instant. And you get the answer you need very, very quickly. And of course, I would say it's kind of very good, a very honest approach. You give something, you get something. It's about exchange, the knowledge, expertise, and everything you need. As I said, that's one of the reasons I personally strongly advocate for open source and use it wherever it's possible. Sometimes it's not, but yeah, that's the life. So that's what I expose a couple of advantages when it comes to why to use and how to overcome some issues. And I expose an example from my past earlier this year, how we fixed the issue, put it on open source. It's doable for everything. Just install it and use it. And that's it. It's secure. It's open. You can change it. You can check it, of course. And that's it. And no cost at all.
Yeah. Sounds really nice. I think that I will share this information, this approach to other people who would like to not use open source. And I will say, Radovan said, try it. Just try it.
It's more than enough, yeah.
Yeah. What was the outcome getting back to the DevOps platform and building it inside GitLab? What was the outcome of building the internal product for GitLab, as a whole company, and specifically for company's culture? What you can tell about it?
Yeah, as I said before already, we are using that something we call dog fooding. Use your product as much as possible to know that product in deep and take advantage of that. And also, good thing is we can ping our colleagues to say, okay, how we should use this, how we can adapt this for our data world. And I would say the main outcome for us is to be a data-driven company and embrace the data-driven culture. We already spoke about that topic. And of course, we want to scale our business infinitely and also to create a platform in order to be able to scale everything infinitely and provide the trusted data to the stakeholder, to the business, and who wants to see the data can see the data. Also, it's about collaboration. As I said, it's two-way street, not only externally, but also internally. So we can communicate and collaborate with our business. They can say, okay, we need this set of data from this provider. How much time you need to provide the data? It's super important for us. And we said, yeah, we recognize it's super important. We will give you what you need. So actually, the main outcome is to synchronize all components in the system, put data in a center, and build everything around the data so everyone can use it. As an ultimate goal, it can be really, really data-driven culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe you can give some advice for people who would like to build their own data service inside their companies. Maybe some mistakes or you can advise to avoid for these people from your experience.
Yeah, actually, that's a good start to think about the failures. Don't be scared to fail. Start small, dream big. I think that's the first thing you should do. Also, we mentioned the approach. You have a lot of components in your data platform. Choose them wisely and try to evaluate a good, proper tool for your use case. Like, okay, for this set of data, I can easily use out-of-the-shelf tool, run it, pay some money, and I'm fine. For this set of data, it's super complex, not so mainstream. It's very exotic approach. I will use custom-made code and put it down the road. Then I will use some transformator to transform the data and provide it to the business. And of course, if you can share the screen, I also put some slides from my latest presentation to share with the audience. Usually I put at the end of presentation, we're not done yet, of course, some key takeaways I think is super important to consider, to be inspired, and maybe just to remember in the back of their minds and use it later or remember me like, okay, you said that. I would say we're not done yet. You should keep your permanent iteration mindset. It means it's always work in progress, no stop, definitely. Try to iterate and do a small steps and move fast as possible. But also on the other side, try not get lost the bigger picture. Know your trajectory, know your strategic orientation, tactical and operational level, and still move fast all the time. If you slow down once, probably will keep that pace all the time, which is not good. And yeah, just move fast. Support, of course, from your core product. If you have it, if you don't have it, find something you think is super interesting. Try to dog fooding that product, embrace DevOps culture, and stick with open source. This might make sense to say, okay, probably this is the way how you should survive today and live in shiny and bright future. Because with this approach, we already mentioned a couple of reasons why you should stick with that. Probably there are some other ways, I don't say. Support what you have, support open source and DevOps culture, and embrace that. As I said, sometimes you should go with boring solution. You know, we are tech people. We like nice, shiny, fancy new products, new stuff, new tools and frameworks. Sometimes best practice or boring solution will do the work for you. Be conservative sometimes because it's more than enough, or that solution is good enough. Just avoid sometimes very fancy, nice new stuffs, because yeah, old school will do the work for you. Be very strict and very disciplined and keep everything in a source control by your choice. I don't want to say use GitLab or use whatever you want actually, but be very strict about this. Put everything you need to run your product in source control. Of course, more strict when it comes to how you should test code and keep quality of that code. Plus, in addition, automate everything you can. Also, what I want to show you, when you look into our repo, you can see a lot of pipelines we build in order to keep the code quality, to check everything we need, depends on the change we made. Like if you want to transform something, change DBT code, we have a set of pipelines to ensure everything is in good shape. Same goes with Python code, linters, checks, shape of the code, test cases, everything is run automatically, and then you can't deliver anything which is not on desired level of quality. Of course, this is still in progress, can be better and better and better, but we're very, very strict about this. And be very cruel and very insensitive when it comes to code-based quality checks. Of course, all tech people will tell you what is the pain if you discover something after a long time after you deploy it. It can be a very costly option. So please, very cruel, no doubt, no compromise, and be intensive about code-based quality checks. Automate everything, be lazy, use lazy approach to put everything, press the button and magic will happen. And of course, I mentioned our handbook, and make your documentation first-class citizen and single source of truth. Why it's important? Because, search something in emails, search something in sheets, search something in Slack, search something in your issue. What is the truth? If you have your documentation and keep documentation up to date, you will get your single source of truth and you can easily refer. Okay, be lazy. Here is the link. You find everything you need there. If something is not there, just amend the page or create a new page. As I said, good referral for this is our handbook, where you can see all components of our business. So please make it first-class citizen, keep it up to date. And of course, a lot of people ask me, okay, how you keep your handbook in sync? But the answer is there is a lot of us in the company. If you type 1 or 2 sentences per day, it's more than enough. Even once per week is more than enough. I admit I'm very lazy when it comes to this, need to contribute more and forget something sometimes, but still I think it's in sync and it's up-to-date version of actually the way and exposing all details, how we drive our business generally. And inside that, as one part, is how we drive our data platform. Let's say for Python code quality checks, I created or altered that page and put many details like how you should test your code, how you lead your code, what is the best practice, what is not good, how you handle exception, things like that. So it's just yet another Python guideline, but I think it also can be handy, especially for new starters in the company. So this is a couple of or several takeaways for you just to remember. And this is just a wrap up all of my experience from the company and from previous projects I was working on, how you should avoid failures. But still, as I said, a general rule of thumb is start small and dream big.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Actually, I think I would like to hear one of your talks, like with presentations, because it seems so smooth. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, we need to do like slides version of your talk next time, if we'll do it next time.
Sorry for interrupt. I should interrupt you. Actually, everything is open to the world. I will share also channel with you and my Medium channel,
nice.
or my Medium articles.
It would be great.
All talks, all resources are there. Also have a private page on GitLab/my name. Also will share that with you. If anyone is interested, can find all resources I need. As I said, we are transparent in core, and all books I read, all videos I recorded, some tutorials are there, like some side projects, everything. So feel free to use it. Feel free to ping me and contact in case we want to exchange ideas and information. I think that's most important. Yeah. Thanks for nice words.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll share this whole bunch of links and link to the handbook as well in our letter to attendees, and we will attach these links to the description of this video on YouTube. So yeah, follow us and see more. Okay. I have a couple more questions, and if you hear us right now, if you're watching us right now, please don't hesitate to add your questions to the comment section. So I will ask them also during this live stream, and Radovan will be happy to answer. And one of the next questions is about lately I think I saw on the internet. So yeah, it's true that it's like all talks are open. I saw that you gave a talk on DevOps Berlin, and you're talking about the magic of DevOps, open source, and all remote team in GitLab. I was so intrigued with this title. So can you please describe, like, in more detail, what is it about? Because it sounds so interesting. So it's like DevOps and open source, all remote team. Wow. And
Yeah, to
magic.
be honest, thanks a lot for nice words. Actually, last month I was in Berlin on DevOps Days 2022. It's like
Yeah.
newly established conference after this bad time with COVID and
Yeah.
everything else. So I was really overjoyed to be there and yeah, feel the good vibe. But yeah, just a secret for one, I would say, wannabe speaker like me is you should create a very good title, so that title will attract the people, and everything else is super easy. So you always need to have a very good, very interesting title. And if you can incorporate like magic words like open source, like DevOps, like data, probably you're on the good way to attract the people, and then you need
Yeah.
to share your nice story. So it's not only about the title, but that's a first impression, and you have only one chance to do that. Yeah, but to be serious, apart from the good title, I would say it's one of
Yeah.
my favorite. Definitely, people recognize that. Is the story about the secret sauce and building blocks about the data platform. We touched some of these stages already, but to wrap up the entire story, usually start to expose what the company is about, what our mission is, what our values are. Actually, these values is also important to consider. It's about, we could call it credit. It stands for collaboration, result, efficiency, diversity, inclusivity, belonging, result, and transparency. We mentioned, I think, all of them. And of course, it's super, super important for the company to promote that culture and that values. And also each employee should do that. So also I will steal the show a bit and expose our values. More about values, handbook, data, search, and you'll find everything you need. And as I said, starting from the company story over some numbers to expose the size, mission, value of the company and why it's important, I move to the data platform and try to expose this small building blocks and some secret sauce. Actually, there is no secret, but everything is transparent. I just want to wrap up everything in a nice story. And usually at the end of this expose, I try to show you these key takeaways I already shared with you, and I'm always thrilled about that. And I think when you come to live talks, of course, virtuals are also fine. They're good connection and sharing the energy among people and audience on the conference. You can easily reach anyone, and you can continue with some informal conversation. And also, I call all of your participants today, just ping me on LinkedIn. You can share the link to my profile. I'm more than eager to have a coffee chat with them, to speak about data topics, everything else about DevOps and open source. But yeah, I would say main takeaway from the talk is meet a bunch of great folks, share your story, people will listen to your story, you can exchange it. Yeah, you always can learn something new despite you're just a participant or speaker or organizer. Everything is really super good. So also encourage the people to go and try at least a couple of conferences per year. That's the only way how we should communicate and exchange everything. Live is live, online is online, but still there is a specific vibe there, definitely. And I like Berlin. Why not? It's always good to be there.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Thanks a lot. And we have a couple questions. First, like a couple of them actually kind of the same, but kind of different as well. What's the, I will try to rephrase these questions a bit. Is it like DevOps platform still in developing process, or it's like completed and done? Well,
actually, I mentioned already everything is in progress. So that's the very short answer on that. I mean, you should keep with that mindset, despite what you're working, despite the type of product. It's not, doesn't need to be software product. It can be anything, but still keep, always a better way. Be passionate about your product and improve it all the time. There is always something to work on and move forward.
Yeah, and actually one of the questions was about the plans. So what's the next for a platform? What's like the next steps you would like to approach? And if it's not a secret as well, of course.
What is, I would say, something's not regarding the platform as its core improvement. Roadmap is exposed on the website, what is of course transparent, but there's something we call team ops, and it's recently announced on our channels and platforms. It's about how you should organize the team. So it's not about how to create a product. It's more about how to create efficient and really high collaborative team. So please also, I will share the link with you about Team Ops, and it's from our kitchen, and it's also good to announce to the world. And also you can take a course. I think it's also for free. You can easily be certified because of that, but also it's a good way to reuse our experience in order to organize and create highly effective teams. So I would say Team Ops is something really you should pay attention on.
Yeah. Nice. Actually, I think that we're collecting materials for a whole newsletter. So we issue a newsletter each week. So I will collect all the materials, and I will show you. And I think I will send you to our subscribers, which will be like really happy to like receive all this information, because I think it's really relevant, really important for DevOps specialists. So
yeah, the reason why I like this, sorry for interrupt, the reason I like this kind of talks is this is just introduction, and to be inspired for something, and also we can provide follow-up, and people can, depends what they're interested in, to focus on this side or on that side, and to learn more, to communicate somehow. And I see this like, okay, this is just a starting point, and also want to integrate them. It's like, okay, there are many more things. This is just an introduction.
Yes. And the second question, as I mentioned, it's like kind of close to the question about plans, but it's about challenges you have or had during the developing of the platform. So maybe you can share a couple, not problems, but challenges. I think it's a good word for it.
Depends where we are talking about, our platform or our data platform. What I would say expert, can say more about the data platform.
Yes.
The biggest challenge, of course, is how to scale your business, and as a part of that, how you scale your platform. It's always challenge how you should find the proper way to orchestrate everything and to scale everything, theoretically speaking, to infinite, because everything about tech is about maintainability, reliability, and also scalability. So it's about scaling. I think that's probably the biggest challenge. Also, when it comes to looking into the data platform, you should reflect your business. Your data should reflect your business, and also how you should scale your platform along with scaling your business in cost-effective fashion. Of course, theoretically speaking, now with all these cloud providers and tools, you can just pay and scale everything to infinite, but that's not a solution. You will bankrupt very quickly. You need to find a very good fine-tuned platform and approach how you should save some money, but also provide what is needed for the business. So I would say in these days, it's the biggest challenge. And of course, in addition, I want to say about the security. Everything can be breached, everything can be crashed. So it's about you to mitigate the risk and to properly organize your security layer around your platform. So I would say security and scalability as my final answer.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Actually, I think it's a great answer, and it's like the biggest challenges, I think, for really for so many companies like around the world. So and how you like, maybe you can like a couple words about how you overcome these challenges, or how you dealing right now with them.
You should create, actually you have three components in each process. It's like processes, tools, and people. So you need to orchestrate and organize everything in order to put a good process, choose the good tools. We already touched this part, and also to train your people to act properly, proactively on every kind of challenges. How to be secure, how to do everything in a secure way, how to deal with data. When it comes to data, where you should classify your data. If you have kind of red data, you should be super careful with that. How to deal with it. If you want to decommission something, we had a discussion a couple of days ago. Okay, we want to get rid of this data. We are not use this data anymore. We place the platform. What we should do with this data? Should you keep it? Should you discard it? Should you store it somewhere? And also you need to create a policy how to act in any of known scenario. And as a conclusion or bottom line of this, you should mitigate the risk. So to mitigate the risk, you need to train your people to have and establish good process and policies, and to set the good tools to prevent everything what you can do. Of course, there is no silver bullet for that.
Our next question about culture, like corporate culture in your team, maybe if it's like somehow different from the culture of the whole company. Could you please describe in a couple of words, because I hear that you have like values, which is like credit. I hope I heard it right. And
Yes.
maybe something else about your culture which you could share. And because as you mentioned, it's really mostly about teams and efficiency of teams and like the right processes and policies, etc. So maybe you can add something else to this, describing the corporate culture in your team or in GitLab in general.
Yeah, in one word, it's great. I would say personally for me, why? Because really company and team leaders promote that culture. So
Yeah.
if you follow this culture and sub values up to values you defined or predefined and stick with that, to be really honest about that, what you defined, it will be much easier to be efficient, to attract the people, and to orchestrate the team to be super productive when it comes
Yeah.
to what you should build. Everyone has a mission. Our company has a mission. Our team has the mission to create a trusted data platform and scale it to infinite. And also these values help us and support us and encourage us to move forward very quickly. Of course, we are public company from last October. Before that, we were startup. Now we still have the startup culture, I would say, because
Yeah.
you should move fast. Sometimes priority should be reordered very quickly, and you need to adopt to that. How to be and stay agile, and how to move forward quickly. Of course, you need to have a set of values and live these values. This is also one of my takeaways from the talks on
Yeah.
conferences. Live your values, promote your values, and then everyone should contribute. So every one of us should put some effort to move forward and really stay efficient and be productive. So I would say it's going from top to bottom, on the
Yeah.
company level, on the team level, and to individual level.
Yeah.
What we have, I would say it's very unique in GitLab. It's called manager of one. So you have a high level of autonomy to organize your work and your life and your time to produce what is requested from you, which is great. And I think for each tech expert, company and environment should give you autonomy, mastering, and purpose. With that, you will be super efficient. Without that, it can be challenging sometimes because and you're not sharing the same things. I would say mastering autonomy and purpose in addition with values you define for the company. That's the way how company is branded, how people can see it from outside and they want to step in inside. So if you're hiring, okay, what should I do for work for your company? Some prefer to over some other company will work for in other environment. So I would
Yeah.
say, yeah, probably that's it. Mastering autonomy and purpose in addition with values.
Yeah, actually, it's really a lot, I can say. And it is really all valuable parts. But I think that people who are asking this question, I think like maybe envy a bit because it's like not every company have this corporate culture like set up. And it is maybe sometimes causes problems during the development and like the whole like bunch of process. So I think it's really important to like pay attention to all these things, and I think we'll really share some details about it also in our letter. So yeah, I will wait for all materials you mentioned, and I will maybe Google something also. And
Yeah, of
yeah,
course. But this is just to
will be great.
provide a highlight on what you ask me, like, okay, how we should orchestrate some things or what you should follow, how to predefine something. I would say
Yeah,
this is just an inspirational part. Everything else should
yeah,
be contained in that newsletters with many more links and many more details.
yeah,
You can read more and further.
yeah, sure. And we have, I think, a couple more questions, and one of them about where to start with open source. So if you would like to start somehow to do like contributing to open source projects, where to start?
I would say there are plenty of them. Depends what you're interested for. Despite that you're super experienced or even not in the tech world, or you want to start or step in the tech world, find something should drive you and keep your focus and discipline on some level for some certain time. Because usually when you step in that field, probably most of the things are not clear to you or you do not understand. Start small, dream big, and then contribute somehow with a little thing. Also, you can see a good example, go to GitLab and see what is there.
Yeah,
Maybe you should contribute in some way. I think, as I said, already call all of you to contribute and share your ideas. And mandatory is not mandatory to be technical, deeply stuff. It can be just a one
yeah,
article, changing one sentence for the beginning. But as I said, find something can drive you and keep you focused for some certain period of time. That's probably the best way to start. And later on, You should communicate with the community, join Slack channels. Then you will get more and more ideas, and you'll become an expert in one area. But as I said, find the area, niche. You want to learn more, you want to contribute more. That's probably the best starting point, in my experience, of course.
Yeah, actually, it sounds really, really easy. So it's like really easy steps, and if you can contribute, I don't know, one comment or one article, it's not like you don't need to be like technically deeply prepared for something. So it sounds really easy, even for people who are like not deeply technical prepared for something.
Yeah, fully agree with you. As I said, start small because it's impossible to know everything. Lower your ego and say, okay, I'm a new beginner here. Community will support you. And especially, I think it's also good to contribute to the project where the community is strong and it's very responsive. In that case, you can leverage your knowledge very, very quickly and in a very efficient way.
Yeah, and actually, I can say that open source community is really friendly and really open and warm. So it's like really nice to be there. And I don't like integrated to it like personally, but I see as a community manager a lot of activities and a lot of events, etc., and speakers, which is really friendly and open and really nice to deal with it. So yeah,
it's very vibrant, collaborative environment. That is what I can say based on my experience, and that's one of the, let's say, my motivational factor why I like to speak and also to share not only knowledge but ideas and stories to the people, and also to and from community. So yeah, I think you got the right answer, definitely.
Yeah. We have one more question. What are the advantages and disadvantages of a repository manager for an IT team? What are GitLab's biggest challenges in the market today?
Sorry, what? Can you repeat the last question? I heard the first one, but
yeah, what are GitLab's biggest challenges in the market today?
It's everything about how to, let's say, versatile your community and versatile number of users, and of course it will bring you some money at the end of the story. What I can say, I don't know, for the core product, I can say for the data team, we talk already about the scalability and security, and about the, let's say, categorization of the data, how you should treat your data and keep them secure inside your environment. So for us, that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, and we have one more question. I think we will wrap up after that if we will not receive any new questions right now. But the question is, why do you choose to build platform? Because it's like our platforms, which can be like useful for you too.
Yeah, there's several reasons. We touch some of them to explain. The main challenge for us was, okay, is there anything on the market or the open source sky one size fits all? It's not possible, because how company grows, business will request more and more data. So usually you will stuck at some point like, okay, this tool can't do the thing for me because, let's say, this provider data is missing or it's not incorporated, or this data provider is very exotic, not so mainstream, I would say, so you should build something. Or you want to replace the component. If you have very monolith structure when it comes to platform, it can be a problematic in some period of time. But if you want to stay agile, you should decouple your platform into smaller components and be able to orchestrate everything together. Be like orchestra, or to replace something if it's not okay or fit your needs. Let's say some component can fit your needs now, but in 5 years from now it can be difficult, or you get stuck somewhere. So you should think somehow to do a good architectural approach and pick up actually what you need. Also, for some companies, perfectly fine to have one size fits all, which is okay for them. For us, it wasn't okay. So we use kind of hybrid modeling with many components, but yeah, it's working nice for now.
And like the close question to it, what about like the price? Like if you can compare the price of development your own platform and using some like outsourced platform or something vendor, is it like something comparable? Or
it's not only about the cost. Of course, you can calculate TCO and do a bottom line, summarize everything. I didn't do that, or probably someone does that who is responsible for that part. But from my point of view as an engineer, it's about the values What will bring you the more value, not only for you, but for the business? That's why we are here, right? We need to support our core business. And for that reason, I would say, okay, you should consider that as like, what will provide the bigger value for your business, despite how you call it. And also, as I said, sometimes boring solution is more than enough and good enough. There are plenty of nice, shiny, fancy tools on the market, and you always want to get the latest one. Sometimes it's okay to be conservative, sometimes good to be a bit more pragmatic, or to be brave and try to step in something really new. But in my point of view, see what you need and grab that actually what you need. Do not reinvent the wheel on the other side. If something is on the market and it's working good, probably you can't be that, because these guys are doing and creating that product are super expert in that. They're doing only that thing. You probably want to do more things, so you can't be that, definitely. I would say, think good, be wise, evaluate the products, and after your evaluation, you will get the decision. That's the process how you should choose something. Probably there's some better way, but at the end, it's more about values, not about the price and costs. Something can be expensive in the beginning and cheaper over time. On the other side, there are many tricks, like something can be very, very cheap and attractive in the beginning, and you're locked for a long time, you can't go out. So it's always about good decision, but still about the values.
Yeah, and this is like the perfect ending for our conversation. So not just that, but many other things more about values than price. So it's like really perfect ending for our talk. Thanks a lot, Radovan. It was really pleasure to meet you and talk to you. And I will really wait for all materials to send it to our audience, to our attendees, because I think it's something, really something big there. And this inspiration, we can't hide it. You can't hide it inside your inbox and your saved tabs in browser. So yeah.
Thanks a lot for this call. I really enjoyed the conversation, and also to expose our story. That I said, that's my initial motivation, to share our story with the audience and for the community. And of course, we open a couple of topics, just a good inspiration and good starting point for your audience. What I owe you is a set or several links I want to share with you. So please forward it to the audience, and I call everyone of you to connect with me on primarily LinkedIn. I'm most active there. We already can collaborate, can see each other, can exchange ideas and everything else. Thanks a lot for your time. I hope you enjoyed the talk and didn't bomb you too much with PowerPoint presentation or bother you too much with my talk. But yeah, let's keep in touch and communicate.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And for all people who are watching us right now or will watch us later, please pay attention to the links in the description of this video, and you'll find our social media and our Discord channel, and you can join us, follow us, and see next events, next activities we have. And yeah, see you next event. Thanks a lot, Radovan. Thank you. Bye.